August 20th, 2023. Chesterfield Street murders. This call was received at 8:15 p.m.
This is 911. What's your emergency?
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Everyone is...
Sorry, ma'am. You're going to have to speak up. I can't hear what you're
You
saying.
need to send someone. No, more than that. Send your entire force. You need to send someone.
Where are you right now, ma'am?
Chesterfield Street, just outside the Starbucks.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to dispatch an officer now. They will be there shortly. For clarification, ma'am, what exactly is going on?
They're dead. Every single person.
How many people are dead?
All of them.
This call was disconnected by the caller at 8:16 p.m. And these are the radio transmission records from Sergeant Michael Wilson. 8:16, he says, copy that dispatcher, ETA is 8:21. At 8:20, he says, almost arrived at the location, any intel on the situation. At 8:20, copy that dispatcher has the makings of a prank call. In my opinion, someone's idea of a joke. Wasting police time with a bogus murder call. I'll report back once on scene. 8:23, pulling up now. I'm assessing the situation and currently don't see too much out of the ordinary. There's a large crowd as usual, but they're all standing completely still. I think they're looking at something moving in now. And at 8:24, he says, dispatch, I am requesting immediate backup. And this is the end of the known radio transmissions. And this is when you were coming in, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So I got there about 2 minutes after Sergeant Wilson issued the backup call. I was already en route to the location anyways.
And what did you find?
Nothing. Not one damn thing. Sergeant Wilson claimed to have seen a large group of people standing still.
Okay.
And I get there 2 minutes later, and everybody's gone. It was 2 fucking minutes.
Okay, was there anything else of note?
There was blood in possible amounts, covering almost every square inch. And not just blood. There were large traces of bodily fluids everywhere.
Jesus.
It was almost as if that everyone who was there had been completely drained of anything that they had. And then just fucking left.
And does forensics back this up?
Oh, it does more than that. It spirals it completely out of proportion. The amount of fluid that was found at the scene was equivalent to about 4 to 3 average humans.
43?
There were 4 to 3 people there, and now they're gone.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, thank you for your time, Jonas.
No, there's nothing to be thankful for.
This is Sergeant Michael Wilson's body cam footage.
Copy that, dispatcher. ETA is 8:21. Almost arrived at the location. Any extra intel on the situation? Copy that, dispatcher. It has the makings of a prank call, in my opinion. Somebody's idea of a joke wasting police time with a bogus murder call. I'll report back once on scene. Pulling up now. I'm assessing the situation and currently don't see too much out of the ordinary. There's a large crowd as usual, but they're all standing completely still. They're looking at something. Moving in now. Pulling up now. I'm assessing the situation and currently don't see too much out of the ordinary. There's a large crowd, as usual, but they're all standing completely still. I think they're looking at something. Moving in now. Dispatch! I'm requesting immediate backup!
My phone buzzed in my hand. Graham checking in since I was running late.
Even you're not gonna believe this shit.
As my ride approached, he sent a frantic flurry of messages.
Dude, where are you? Everyone is here. Hurry. Gonna miss it.
As we approached Chesterfield Street, I saw what looked to be a distant light shining upwards into the night sky. Unlike anything I've seen before. Even now, I can't find the words to describe it. Merely calling it beautiful would be, frankly, an insult. It was so incredibly bright that I felt tears welling up. I was unable to take my eyes off of it, despite the searing pain forming behind them, watching until it faded. I found myself sweating, and the car began to smell faintly of copper. I noticed the driver staring at me in the rearview mirror, his eyes wide. Like wide. I realized that the deep maroon had trickled down from my eyes and the corner of my mouth. Pink beads of sweat had formed on my forehead. He had to swerve around cars vacated in the middle of the road and with the door still swung open. Honestly, I'm not surprised that he sped away the moment I got out. I texted that I arrived, but Graham never replied. The yellow lamplight reflected mirror-like off of a viscous liquid coating the vacant street. The surrounding shops and restaurants were lit but empty. I trudged through, dodging a car that had plowed through the side of a building and looked inside. Food was on the tables, jackets still draped over toppled chairs and empty booths. I picked up my pace and searched fruitlessly for Graham. Anyone. The thick, ankle-deep liquid that filled the street seeped into my socks in near silence. I could hear it slosh as I stepped. As it dripped down storm drains, I tripped over a sneaker stained by what I later learned to be like a soup of blood and viscera. They found enough personal belongings to count Graham as one of the victims. But whatever is left of him is mixed in with the remains of everyone else that witnessed the event on Chesterfield Street that night. I talked to the police, and they say I'm one of the lucky ones, that if I made it there just a few minutes earlier, I wouldn't be telling my story. 43. That's how many people they say have been present and fully whole on Chesterfield Street before the event. We're still not entirely sure what took place that night. what they saw, but I know I missed something spectacular. I know the police are wrong. I'm not one of the lucky ones. The lucky ones saw it full on. Their eyes taking in that light for as long as their fragile tissue could, before the viscous humor and the blood began pouring forth from their empty sockets. I'm still holding out hope, though. Hope. Each night that I look into that sky, that my luck would change. That would be my turn.
This is your captain speaking. We're currently flying over Chesterfield Street and will be touching down shortly. I wince, trying to block out the screams. In some stroke of terrible luck, my flight is half populated by little brats, the kind whose parents ignore them and make no attempt at discipline. The seatbelt signs are off, and I need a shit, so perhaps the toilet can offer a brief respite. As I head towards the back of the cabin, a plump, red-faced slob trudges out from the toilet. Great. Maybe his miasmic aftermath will choke me to death. That would spare me from being gurgled and screamed at for the next 2 hours. I turn the lock, unbuckle my belt, and plop down onto the uncomfortably warm seat. This one's gonna be a cement block, I can tell. A real Elvis killer. After a few minutes of straining, I notice something's changed. The idle chit-chat and immature squeals have dissipated. In place, there's this uniform sound of amazement? Yeah, that's what I'd call it. Subdued gasps of wonder. Oh god, that fat elf really blew up this toilet. It smells worse now. Coppery and acrid, like piss. Did he vomit in here too? What the fuck? I only realized the source of the stench after sensing my toes getting soggy. Looking down, I pull my feet up in horror. A murky concoction of reds and browns leaks under the door. My nagging sphincter goes quiet. I pull my pants up and reach for the lock. Before I can slide the bolt, a series of deafening bangs rings out from the cabin. Panic overtakes me, and I lunge for the bolt, managing to unlatch it and kick open the door. Like a dam bursting, the toilet's flooded. It's up to my knees. God, the smell. It's so much worse now. And before another thought, the plane jerks and I'm thrown forward into the opposite wall. I manage to keep balance and wade over to the end of the aisle. I'm simultaneously confused, dumbstruck, and horrified. Most of the passengers are missing. The few that remain huff into oxygen masks. A long row of bright spots glide across the ceiling, left to right, so intense they leave stains in my retinas. I can't see what the light's coming from, but it's obvious where it's bleeding through. Every window on the cabin's left side is broken. The air's thinning. Past the black dots invading my sight, I can make out something caught on the jagged remnants of windows. Fluttering, torn strips, varying shades of beige, brown, and white. There are drained pink underneath. It reminds me of raw chicken, only not a micron of blood leaks from them. Realizing I've been standing for far too long, I lurch towards the nearest oxygen mask. My sense of balance is gone, and my fingers graze the mask as my leg is caught on an armrest. I can't see. It's dark. It's cold. I collapse to the floor, into a warm and sticky embrace. It's still dark, but at least I'm not cold anymore.
Hey everyone, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a 5-6 month wait in between stories, and I know my last one wasn't as good because of the audio quality. Apologize about that. There was some weird wonky stuff going on with YouTube and my equipment at the time, but now everything sounds a lot more smoother. I really desperately want to thank every single person that's helped me out, and also the authors for giving me permission to read their stories, narrate their stories. So the authors are I Need a Better Title for Does Anybody Know What Happened on Chesterfield Street Last Night? Jam Franz as for We Need to Talk About What Happened on Chesterfield Street, and Reflexon for This Is Your Captain Speaking. We're currently flying over Chesterfield Street and we will be touching down shortly. As for the voice actors, the very talented people who helped me out is Missy Carionto. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize greatly if I am not. GoldNinja, it's Rick, and Savleftus. I really want to thank every single one of you for helping me out on this project. And you definitely more than likely will see them again in other projects because they are extremely talented. Thank you for your patience, and I hope to see you soon in the next one. Peace.